Hi, I'm Kiana Marrie, and this is the second part of the prologue for my Kundalini Yoga curriculum. And in this video, we are going to talk about the chakras. Now, in the previous video, I talked about how Kundalini Yoga moves Kundalini energy up the spine and through the Sushumna, up the Sushumna. Now, as Kundalini energy moves up the spine, it passes through the chakras, and the chakras are connected to the Sushumna. Now, their exact placement, you could say they're part of the spine, connected to various glands in the body, because there is a biochemical process that happens with Kundalini Yoga, and the chakras are connected to the Sushumna. Now, there are 7 major chakras in the body, and they go from root, the base of the spine, to the top of your head, the crown. Now, in Kundalini Yoga, traditionally, there is an 8th chakra, and that is the aura. Now, the aura is also seen as the electromagnetic field that surrounds us. The aura surrounds us like a sphere and like a ball of light, 9 feet in every direction. That is the aura and how it is depicted and seen and experienced in the practice of Kundalini Yoga. So, for my curriculum, though, because this might be news to some people, so some people don't see the aura as a chakra. If you don't, I'm not here to force you to do nothing. Simply treat it as the energetic field that interacts with your chakras in an important way in the process of Kundalini Yoga. Okay? Simple as that. Now, the chakras have individual and collective roles in our body. They can work, like they automatically work as part of what they do. Each chakra has an attribute tied to it, various attributes, from color to mantra to seed mantra to the glands, like I mentioned, in the body. Each chakra has a purpose, and together they work in conjunction with our body. So now we're going to go through these lists of chakras, and we're going to start at the base, at the root. And at the base, the root chakra, it is also called the Muladhara, okay? The Muladhara is often depicted as red, sometimes brown, but often red. It is the red chakra. It pertains to basic survival, trust, security, strength, groundedness, and it is associated with the adrenal glands. So that's something to keep in mind when we're talking about survival, coming out of survival, trauma, trusting those types of wounds or those types of experiences that you'd like to improve. Okay? The mantra that is associated with the root chakra is I am. Okay? I am. Now, there is a seed mantra that also is it's called a Bij mantra. It is the seed mantra that represents the chakra at its most primordial sound. Now, for the root chakra, it is Lam. Lam. Okay? Now, other things that are associated with these chakras. When a chakra is balanced and healthy, survival it comes natural to you. Trust is not as big of a wound. It doesn't bring you anxiety or paranoia. You are well grounded. You're strong in yourself and your sense of survival. When it is out of balance, you might experience fear, insecurity, distrust. It might make it hard for you to survive, and that's something to keep in mind. The second chakra is the sacral chakra. This is located around the 3rd and 4th vertebra of the spine and is attached to the gonads, the sex organs. Regardless of your sex or gender, it is associated energetically and biologically with those areas. That's it. The proper name for the sacral chakra is the Svadhisthana, and its mantra is I feel. I feel. Okay? So this chakra is colored orange, and it relates to sexual energy, sensual energy. It doesn't always have to be sexual. If you have sexual wounds and that kind of alarms you or bothers you, it also is associated with creativity. Okay, so when it is imbalanced, creative energy might feel stagnant, it might feel slow. If it is imbalanced in your sensual life, you might experience complaints or ailments or wounds or experiences that are unfavorable in those areas. And so as you're seeing, each chakra has a dual sort of healthy, unhealthy sort of indicator with it. Okay, and the seed mantra for the sacral chakra is Vam. So the first one was Lam, the second one was Vam. Okay, so the third chakra is the solar plexus chakra. This is called the Manipura, and it is around the navel point. Belly button is about the approximate reference. Okay, now the sacral chakra deals with dominant for yourself, like not domination over others, like vitality, confidence, willpower. Okay, so that is our sense of self, our sense of ego, and ego is not necessarily a bad thing. You know, we need an ego to be here to learn and live and stuff. So that's part of this. All of this stuff is connected. The mantra for the Manipura is I do. I do. And the seed mantra is Ram. Ram. Okay? And the color for this chakra is yellow. Yellow like the sun. It deals with the energy of fire. In the practice of Kundalini Yoga, the solar chakra is engaged quite often. Just something to think about. Now, when it's balanced, you have a good sense of identity, good sense of judgment, good sense of domain. When it's imbalanced, you can have an inflated sense of ego, or you can be underconfident, you can have low willpower, those types of things. It's sort of parallel. If it's healthy, you're confident. If you're not, you're underconfident. Sometimes it can also bring about illnesses. The glands that this is attached to is the pancreas. So that's something to also keep in mind. Going to the fourth chakra, this is the heart chakra. This is located in the heart space. It is called the Anahata, and it is green. Okay, and this chakra is associated, the gland that's associated with it is the thymus gland. So the mantra for the Anahata is I love. This is love energy. So dealing with the heart space, I love. Now, when the Anahata is imbalanced, you don't have a feeling of love or connection. When it's balanced, you have a feeling of love, community, connection. And another thing, as I'm mentioning these dualistic natures, whether it be the Muladhara, Svadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, know that these dualistic things, sometimes they're not static, okay? They're always changing, always moving with our awareness, with our intentions. So if you find yourself relating with it, just know Kundalini Yoga is here to heal that. Just want to make it clear. So moving on, before we move on, the seed mantra associated with the Anahata is Yam. Yam. Okay? So moving to the fifth chakra, this is the throat chakra, also called the Vishuddha. Okay? This is blue. This is often depicted as blue, and it is associated with the thyroid. Okay? So if you have thyroid issues, know that Kundalini Yoga has practices that assist those things, supplemental, not to replace anything, but it has those. Some of the people that I practice with and teach, they have many thyroid complaints. Just something that I wanted to point out there in case this comes across your, feed or synchronicity or whatever. So when the throat chakra is balanced, you don't have a problem speaking for yourself, speaking up, speaking for what you believe in, speaking your mind clearly. But when it's imbalanced, you can feel like your voice is suppressed or taken, whether it's from your internal challenges or an external force that you feel you cannot power over. Okay? So the throat chakra impacts your effectiveness with speech. So the mantra for this is I speak. I speak. And the seed mantra for it is hum. Hum. Okay? Now moving on to the 6th chakra. This is a commonly well-known chakra. This is the third eye chakra. It is also called the Ajna, and it is sometimes depicted as electric bluish, purple, indigo, that kind of color. That is the third eye chakra, the Ajna. That is the 6th chakra. It is associated with the pineal gland. Now, this chakra in particular, has a focus on meditation, intuition, those types of things, foresight. Now, sometimes anecdotally, when it comes to intuition, judgment, psychic phenomena, oftentimes it's not just the third chakra that's interacting. This is what I mean when I say the chakras have collective roles in our body. The 6th chakra, it's about insight. It is the mind's eye. It is seeing the unseen. But when it comes to psychic things, it does sometimes work with the Manipura, the solar plexus chakra. Judgment, like I mentioned earlier. That's just something to think about. The mantra associated with the third eye chakra is I see. I see. And the seed mantra, the Bij mantra, is Om. Om. So the 7th chakra is the crown chakra. This is also known as the Saraswat. This chakra is associated with the pituitary gland. It is often depicted as violet, sometimes white and violet, but primarily violet. Now, this chakra is fairly unique. It is associated with your union with the universe. So when it is balanced, you feel connected with God, source, the universe, whatever energy you consider to be your main source energy in this life from wherever you come from. When it is imbalanced, you feel severed, disconnected, confused, abandoned. Those types of things come up. And this chakra is very unique because it has a mantra. Its mantra is, I understand. But its seed mantra is silence. So after you go through Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Ham, Om, when you reach the 7th, it's silence. Okay? So, now, the 8th chakra, which in Kundalini Yoga is taught to be the aura. That is the energy that encloses all the other chakras, interacts with it. It doesn't have a particular color. It can change based off of your mood, your intentions, your health. Those types of things can influence it. You can't always immediately see it, but you can train yourself to at least feel it in you, through you, around you. And it is malleable, meaning you can expand it, you can contract it. Now, in terms of energy as a whole in the practice of Kundalini Yoga, you may hear references to energy having a masculine form or a feminine form. These terms come from an ancient practice that often used symbolism in it. And with that, it's used to describe qualities, okay? So think of masculine energy as forward moving, forward action, and think of feminine energy as receptivity. That does not mean dominant over submissive. I need that to be very clear too, okay? So we all have masculine and feminine energies in us, and if you don't want to associate with that, I understand, but I'm just letting you know where this practice comes from traditionally and how I'll be teaching. And just know that it does not interfere on your gender. There have been people beyond just the binary who have practiced Kundalini Yoga over thousands of years. Let's just be clear about that. This is not an isolating practice. So, another thing about energy. The first three chakras, the root, the sacral, and the solar, the Muladhara, the Svadhisthana, and the Manipura, these chakras are known as the lower triangle. They focus on your basic needs and your basic needs of life and your survival needs. Okay? The upper triangle is spiritual connection. So the throat chakra, the Vishuddha, the Agna, the Saraswat, these three, they're associated with spiritual enlightenment, spiritual experience, cosmic connection. Kundalini Yoga is meant to balance those energies, the lower chakras with the upper chakras, to experience the realms of higher consciousness with more clarity. Okay? So we went through the root chakra, the Muladhara, the sacral chakra, the Svadhisthana, the Manipura, which is the solar plexus chakra, the heart chakra, the Anahata, the throat chakra, the Vishuddha, the third eye chakra, the Agna, and the crown chakra, the Saraswat, and the Ara, which is the 8th chakra. So as Kundalini Yoga rises and flows more freely through our chakras, you may begin to experience and perceive your awareness of reality and your own sense of pattern recognition and attention differently. You may find yourself moving differently, changing in accordance with your shifting consciousness, changing in ways that you might not have expected, but you can at least welcome because you know you're doing something for yourself, you know? So that wraps up talking about the chakras. I wanted to go through it through a more conversational level. So hopefully you enjoyed this. That wraps up the prologue for this. After this, we're moving on to the first module of my Kundalini Yoga curriculum, in which we will talk about preparing for an actual practice and doing a couple of things from wherever you are. Module 1 will be props, posture, and positioning. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you on the next one.